Cheat code. Support strategist. By Clouds. My head in the clouds, not coming down. On AO3. Chapter 52. Something. By the time Ochako walked into the classroom again, the mood was a lot more somber. Aizawa just nodded to her as she found her seat, and she nodded back, ignoring the curious stares of their classmates for the rest of the class. As soon as the bell rang, Hitoshi made a beeline towards her and put his hand on her shoulder. Hey, Ochako, are you okay? Did you see him? Ochako shook her head. No, he was in surgery, so I couldn't go in, but Hitoshi, I couldn't feel him anymore. Hitoshi furrowed his eyebrows. What are you talking about? My quirk. Ochako had tears in her eyes as she looked at him. They had to cut off his arm. Shindig, it threw off his gravity, and I can't anchor to him anymore. Hitoshi didn't say anything, just pulled her into a hug. I'm so sorry, Ochako. Ochako buried her face in his shoulder. I could have helped him if I just had better control over this quirk. I even thought about him, and if I hadn't been so exhausted. Then you would have been exhausted when you got there, and you would have been hurt too. Hitoshi reminded her firmly. You just barely developed this ability, Ocha. Don't blame yourself for not being perfect. Remember what May said about failure, experiments? Ochako sniffled. They're what builds our successes. Exactly. Hitoshi smiled. Now, come on. Everyone is freaking out over your disappearing. I would probably just let them suffer, but you're too nice for that. Yeah, I should give them some sort of explanation at least. Ochako said tiredly. Wait, did we ever tell Mina how I got there? Nope. Hitoshi smirked. And I didn't explain anything this morning before you got there. Like I said, I personally would just let them suffer. Ochako hit him in the arm. Don't be so mean, Shigdig. They're our friends, and eventually, I'm hoping, going to learn how to use it in a fight. So they deserve to know. Not everyone can just get away with confusing people casually like you can. Not everyone has the support of Avengers Gremlins. Hitoshi shrugs. He took a few steps forward before he noticed Ochako wasn't beside him, and he sighed, making sure she wasn't behind him before switching directions and heading towards the support classroom. This was going to take some adjustments. May was pouting. At the beginning of class, Powerloader had gone over how their final exams were going to work, which was more of a final project than she'd expect anything different, but it was supposed to be something that was going to change them, and even 3 different explosions hadn't been enough to get the creative juices flowing. She almost wanted to go pester Izuku-kun about it, but he was so deep in his program that he hadn't even heard Powerloader telling him class was over. She didn't want to bother him. If only she could count Gravity Girl's earrings as her final. They'd be perfect. But then she'd be bored for the rest of the semester. She just wanted a baby to work on. Almost as if on cue, Gravity Girl herself slammed the door to the labs open. Mei-chan, I need your help. Oh, thank God. May swiveled around in her chair to face her. Please tell me you need a baby. I don't, Ochako said, and May made to turn around in her seat. But one of my classmates definitely does. May immediately grabbed a pen and a sketchbook. I could kiss you right now. Oh, you can save that for Midoriya, Ochako teased. But seriously, it's about Ida. Ida. May tapped her chin with a pencil. Oh, engine legs, like the living cyborg. That's the one. Ochako grinned, but her expression fell after a moment. I was actually hoping there might be a way to make him more cyborg, if you think that's possible. Uraraka-kun, don't encourage her. Izuku walked out of his workroom, rubbing his eyes. I already have to talk her out of making cyborgs every other week. But it's for a good occasion this time, Ochako insisted. One of my classmates, he got injured during his internship. Oh, no. Izuku looked like he was about to start sympathetic crying. I'm so sorry. Ochako nodded grimly. He was attacked by the hero killer and lost his arm. It's a career-ending injury. Unless we make him a new one. May immediately started scribbling down ideas as fast as she could. I need everything. Measurements, quick limitations, nickel allergies. Izuku, I get to make a cyborg! Izuku was a killjoy. Just rolled his eyes and grabbed her hand. Consent, Michan. We need to talk to Ida and see if he's even interested in counting hero work first before you make him your new pet project. May pouted. Okay, but if he says yes, then can I make him a cyborg? Yes. Izuku gave her a sly smile. Then you can make him a cyborg. Mineta ignored the glares the girls were sending his way, not really caring if he came across as oblivious or just straight up rude. Either would make him underestimate him and think he was paying attention to their bodies instead of their work. And then she just disappeared like this morning, and Shinso just hung up on me. Mineta cried. The audacity, and now nobody would give me a single ounce of explanation. Sue tapped her chin thoughtfully. Maybe Midoriya and Hatsume would know what's going on. Jiro rolled her eyes. Just because they act like cryptics doesn't mean they're all knowing. If it's a quirk thing, and let's be honest, it probably is, then you'd have better luck asking cheat code. Mineta perked up. Did you see Midoriya at the sports festival? Hagakure asked incredulously. He's almost as smart as cheat code is, and way easier to contact. He is Nezu's personal student, Yamamozu mused. So I doubt he's any less than spectacular intelligence, but cheat code is a professional analyst, and doesn't Midoriya focus on creating inventions with Hatsume? They both intern on Island after all. They were the ones interning on Island? Mineta blurted out. Jiro glared at him. Don't act like you actually care. You're only interested because Hatsume has big boobs. And she refers to inventing as making babies. Hagakure added, helpfully. Mineta filed that information away for later, to help him identify Hatsume, just in case he couldn't sway an introduction. And if she and Midoriya were always talked as a pair, that meant he was probably her boyfriend or something. And if he found one, the other wouldn't be far behind. Sure, All for One had said cheat code was probably a second or third year, but they were looking for a student, so it was worth investigating. Plus, Nezu wouldn't dream of taking on a personal student unless they were almost smarter than he was. So, even if this Midoriya guy wasn't cheat code, All for One would still want to know about him. Who knew? Maybe he'd find some other way to make him of use. You! Mina shrieked, knocking him out of his thoughts, and he saw Uraraka walking towards them with Shinso following, a few seconds behind. Mina pointed her finger at them accusingly. You have so much explaining to do, young lady. Uraraka giggled. Yeah, I guess I do, don't I? Mineta inched a little closer, only to be stopped by Jiro's glare when he got too close to Yaoyorozu. Buzz off, you little perv. Mineta gulped as Shinso turned to look at him, a bored expression on his face. Is this guy bothering you? Yaoyorozu blushed. No. Well, I mean, but it's fine. Yes, Jiro cut in. Shinso hummed and stared at him far too intently for a few seconds until Mineta was shoved in place. Well, what do you have to say for yourself? Why would I ever explain myself to a villain like you? Mineta whined. You could have any girl you wanted with that quirk of yours, and you wouldn't even have the balls to tell them how it works. He trailed off as his brain clouded over, and everyone's voices sounded far away. Shinso didn't stop glaring at him. Go away. Don't wake up until you're at least 3 hallways away from here. Thanks a million, Shinso, Mina said as Mineta was forced to stop walking away. Yeah, Uraraka nodded. We owe you one. If only you could teleport other people with your quirk, Ocha, Shinso said. But whatever, my quirk's perfect for getting rid of creeps. If Mineta had control over his facial expressions, he would have been grinning. A teleporter in Class 1A. Now that was valuable information. Okay, I'm whispering into the mic because I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm actually interested in seeing more of Mineta. Oh my god, guys. Check the outside. Check your news channels. Is the world ending? Maybe. I never thought I would say that. I never thought somebody would make Mineta interesting enough. But he's no longer a pervert, and I know that that's just a fraud to be a spy because, you know, like, whatever. And you know what? That's actually a good fraud. You know, I'm just... Okay, fine, whatever. He's interesting, and I want to see a little more of him because I want to see how this develops. I want to see how this unravels. I know clearly he's still a villain, and I still kind of hate him. But it's, like, less of a hate him because, like, I want to punch you, and more of a, I hate you because you're the bad guy, but I want to see what you're going to do because you're probably going to create, like, a bunch of chaos and more drama for me to consume. You know, like, you're my plot device. Yours what's keeping the plot steady, kind of, a little bit. Let's be honest, if you were out of here, the plot device would still be there. Like, there would still be drama, but, like, you make it a little more spicy. You add a little bit of spice, you know? A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. I don't know why I started talking like that. I started doing this hand thing, too. But, yeah, I can't believe I was ever gonna say this, but I am interested to see what Mineta is up to. Okay, that is weird. That still feels weird. The spy. I'm going to be referring to him as the spy. Mean spy. Spy mean. That's his new name. Spy mean. Spyman. I'm interested in seeing what he's up to and stuff. I am also interested in this cyborg thing. This is interesting. This is cool, you know. I also wanted to say I wasn't sure if I was going to post today. Because for a while there, for like a good solid hour, and it was like almost 3 hours, I was kind of mute. Not because like I couldn't speak or I lost my voice or anything. I could speak because I made noises and stuff, but it's just like it's hard to explain. I just went mute. Like mentally, I couldn't speak for some reason, and it was the hardest thing because I was trying to communicate with people, but like via sign language, and because I don't know via sign language, I had to use broken sign language, aka simple stuff like pointing at my eye if I want them to, like, if I want to say look, right? Like, for example, I was telling the kids to look for the controller. I pointed at my eye, I made a little hand controller in my hand and just, you know, right? And then I pointed around, and luckily one of the girls understood what I was saying, and was like, oh, he's saying to look for the controller. Whatever, point taken is, I thought I was gonna do this section. I really thought I wasn't gonna post today. I thought today was gonna just be a mute day. I actually haven't had those in a while. Normally I have those when I'm extremely overstimulated and extremely upset and stuff like that, and it's not necessarily a complete it is a complete I can't talk, except luckily this time I didn't shove earphones in my ears and blasted music, so it wasn't just a whole I can't talk and hear shit, which I only started doing after an event, but you know, or let's be honest, I did it beforehand, but like I stopped and then I started again because like comfort people weren't being comforting. Anyways, point taken is, I am glad that I was able to issue this to you guys. Ugh, I don't know where that was going, but I'm so glad to be able to post this for you guys. Also, literally cannot wait to see more of Mineta. It's disgusting to say it, but it's true. Clouds, you have done wonders. If I didn't think you were a great writer before, I sure do now. But I did before, and I definitely do now. How you managed to make me think, oh, I wonder what Mineta is up to next chapters. Yep, you have done it, Clouds. You have done it all. As always, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Join our community Discord server, link is in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.